Hello and welcome back, everyone, to our 9-month Ultimate World Cruise adventure. And well, thanks to a cyclone, we have 2 days on the beautiful island of Mauritius. That makes this day 160 and 161 of our adventure. And because of that overnight, we're going to have an amazing meal out on the town, and we get to snorkel with turtles.
Welcome to Living Phase 2.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Nancy, and we're empty nesters striving to live life to the fullest.
And we're living that full life aboard Royal Caribbean's 9-month Ultimate World Cruise on Serenade of the Seas.
Well, we sure are. Well, friends, we are in Mauritius today, the beautiful island of Mauritius, just off the coast of Africa. And it is a very pretty, again, a very pretty sail-in, a very pretty coastline to see. And as our ship sailed in here, we decided we were going to walk around the city for the first day. We really didn't have anything planned because this was an extra day here.
So they've actually built a brand new cruise terminal here in Mauritius to accept cruise ships, and it is a little bit out of town. They have a free shuttle that runs you from the cruise terminal into town, and that takes about 10 minutes or so, if that.
But you could walk it too. There's a shortcut that takes about 15 minutes to walk. So
and some of our friends did that. You just have to ask where the walking path is, because you don't want to walk on the road, and you have to kind of know where the path is, and then that takes you to the waterfront area. And that's the same place that the shuttle bus drops you off. Well, speaking of the waterfront area, that whole area is really nice. I mean, you can really tell Mauritius is working hard to build this up as kind of
it's new. Yes.
Cruise tourist area, I guess I'd say. Yeah.
Well, the waterfront area had some beautiful shopping. It had some higher end shopping. It also had local handicrafts were there as well, and some wonderful restaurants too. So it was a good place to walk.
Yeah, it was. It was really nice just to kind of walk around. But like Nancy was just saying, it's all brand new. And then you can go under. There's actually a main road there. They have an underpass that you go underground, go across, and then back up. And now you're in kind of more the traditional or the older part of town. And that was kind of our goal today, was to get to the old market. And we made it there.
We did. So we got to walk around the market. And again, I got this dress there. So there was a lot of clothing for sale. Other things there are a lot of spices. They have a lot of spices on the island, and a lot of vanilla too. So those are things that you can purchase there at the market. And it was just fun to walk around. Now you should bargain there.
Yes, absolutely. No question. Yeah.
Ask them for the best price and then go lower.
Yeah. And the reason they have so much clothing is, if you check your labels at home, you may find a lot of your clothing made in Mauritius. Textiles is actually one of the major industries in Mauritius. And so you can get some good prices
deals
on some clothing and different things that are there. The market was what I would call a typical straw market kind of. It's like Nancy said, many of the vendors have the same things over and over, and but you just find the one that has the piece that you want, negotiate a little bit, you can play one against the other a little, but that was one side of the market. Then the other side of the market was a farmer's market, or more of a locals market to get produce, meats, fish, anything that you need. And it was packed with the local population and doing their shopping.
It was very noisy there. People were calling out. I don't speak French
Creole,
or Creole.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they were saying, but they were calling out.
They'd almost sing. Like one would say something, the other would call back, and the other would call back, and it was kind of interesting, actually.
We did buy some berries there. Now we can't take produce back on the ship, but we did get some berries there just to eat while we were there. And
while walking around.
Yeah, and we washed them. We had bottled water, so we washed them off. And they were raspberries. They didn't look like raspberries. They almost looked like, in Michigan we have thimbleberries. Didn't quite taste like it, but It was
They were
a
good.
berry.
No, but
So
they
we'll
were
just,
good.
yeah, they called it a raspberry, and it was certainly a berry of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And above the fish and the produce market, they had another kind of a secondary market where they were selling souvenirs, tablecloths, T-shirts, things like that. And so we walked up there and got a Christmas ornament. And did you get a patch? You did get a patch up there as well.
Yep, yep. So, again, a little bit of shopping there, but it was fun. I always like going through those markets, especially when you get to the more local areas, like
Yeah.
in the produce area. They actually had some really nice pineapples, things that you could buy that were already peeled, that were even on a stick you could eat if you
Yeah,
wanted.
this looked
But,
good.
yep. Well, after we left the market, we went ahead and crossed back over the main road that we talked about, and then worked our way back to the waterfront. It was getting to be about noon, lunchtime. Some friends of ours that we were walking with were actually going to the waterfront for dinner that night, so we found the restaurant that they had reservations at, so they knew where to go. And then after that, we walked through another kind of strip of restaurants, and we just picked one, sat down, and decided to have lunch.
We did. So I had a delicious seafood salad. You had croque monsieur, which was a little disappointing.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as some
ham
of
and
them.
cheese sandwich.
It's basically a toasted cheese sandwich, which I guess that is what a croque monsieur is, but it was a little on the light side. But everything else, the onion rings were fresh made. Our friends had some a good seafood pasta.
And
it was all good.
Crepes for dessert.
Yeah, and
with
the crepes
ice
were
cream.
excellent.
And so that was really, really yummy.
Real Mauritian vanilla homemade ice cream, and it
Yes,
was really good.
it was
Yes, yeah.
so good.
Yeah. So no, that lunch was very good. And it was right there on the waterfront. We could see our ship. You could see the water. It was a nice view. They've done a really good job with that waterfront. Well, after that, we got up from lunch. We talked to our friends a little bit. They were going to go off and explore a little more. And we were thinking about going ahead and, we were halfway through the day. We thought, well, maybe we'll just grab a taxi driver, see if he wants to give us a tour for the day we have left, and just kind of see where we go.
One of the things that's there is called the Seven Colors, or Seven Colors of the Earth. And it was questionable. It had questionable reviews on it. And our head waiter, who's from Mauritius, kind of maybe he was wanting to
he said,
steer
"Don't
us
go."
away from going there. But yet when you look at the pictures look very, very beautiful. Now, a lot can be done with a filter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This is, I think, a really good case of Instagram versus reality.
Yeah.
That you get people who want to show these amazing pictures. And we had a lot of people on the ship that actually did make it down there. And we talked to them the next day, and they said that, it doesn't really look that way. They said maybe if you were there right at sunrise, right at sunset, or it was raining, maybe
it
like it
just
was
rained,
wet, you could get some of the colors. But they said you could kind of make out the colors, but it was pretty monotone.
And much smaller than what
pretty
they
small.
thought it was going to be. So,
Yeah.
well, after talking to the taxi driver, we actually just bowed out and said that we weren't going to go. And,
Right.
And so we headed back to the ship. We actually walked under the umbrella street.
Right.
That
That was
pretty.
Yeah, those are always nice when they can decorate like that. And we worked our way through that umbrella street to the shuttle, took the shuttle back to the ship, and just kind of put our feet up a little bit. It was a bit warm, so we just relaxed a little bit. But then as we were in our room, we said, oh, wait a minute, it's Saturday night.
Right.
We could make it to church.
Right. Yeah, we were just going to go out for dinner, but we was like, oh, we have time. So we had about 10 minutes to get to church before church began. And so we rushed off the ship, and instead of taking the shuttle, taxi drivers were right there. So we just hopped in a taxi and had him take us to the cathedral, which saved a lot of time because we would have taken the shuttle, then we would have had to have walked about a kilometer. So taxi driver got us to church on time.
About 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the Cathedral of St. Louis, and it was beautiful in there, nice service.
It was
of course,
in French.
All in French, but they had a kids choir that was singing, and it was very nice. And
It's very
so, we got to church, and then that also got us not that far away from the restaurant that we had picked. We'd done a little bit of research, and we picked a Creole restaurant that we wanted to eat at, and it was actually called a Courtyard restaurant. And so we left the cathedral and we started walking down the street. Now, by now, it's pretty dark, and this is where we're probably breaking one of our own rules, because the town was just shut down. I mean, nothing was open. It was dark. There were no businesses.
It's a little unnerving.
Yeah,
really.
nobody on the street. No cars, really. But we knew exactly where to go because the restaurant was pretty much straight up the street toward the waterfront from the cathedral. And we didn't really have much of an incident, although I think you were a little nervous because you started getting a little bit ahead of me. And I'm looking at Google Maps.
I was on a mission to walk quickly.
Yeah, and I look at Google Maps and I'm kind of saying, well, the restaurant should be here. And I go, oh, there it is. It's on the other side of the street. I look up and you're a block down the street. And I was like, Nancy, come back. So
I hustled back.
Yeah, you did. And but yeah, it was interesting because the restaurant was the only thing. There was a small sign in a little alleyway, and we went down the alleyway, and all of a sudden it opened up into this beautiful courtyard.
It did.
Yeah, and this restaurant was excellent. It's so nice because we really don't have a lot of opportunities to, I guess as they'd say in the military, eat on the economy, right? We're not usually there in the evenings to where we can go sit down, have a nice meal, and enjoy the local culture. So we really did savor this.
Right. And so the name of the restaurant was Wapala Palm.
Mm-hmm.
And I really would highly recommend this restaurant because I thought everything was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I had a seafood pasta. You had
a local chicken curry.
Yeah, it was very, very
But
good.
for the appetizers, we had a coconut cream ceviche, and I'd never had anything like this.
Good.
Yeah.
We also had jackfruit chips.
Yeah.
That were good.
It was almost like a Outback Steakhouse bloomin' onion, but made with jackfruit. You know, that was really good.
And they had homemade ice cream for dessert.
Homemade vanilla coconut ice cream, and they had homemade tapioca. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it was so good.
It was. It was all excellent. And one of the interesting things too is the silverware hangs from these little teas.
That's
and
right.
The glasses and the tables were all made by the owner of the restaurant. He made the glasses out of the old water bottles, and he did a great job.
He cut them and he polished them
The
up so
glass.
the glass so it wouldn't be sharp, and it was very creative. He made the
very
lampshades, the macrame lampshades, and very cool.
Yeah, I love that uniqueness where you'll never find anything like that again because he made all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
as you can
he has a
tell,
lot to be proud of. Beautiful place, great food. So again, would recommend Wapala Palm is the name of it. Wapala Palm.
Yeah. So next time you're driving through Mauritius, make sure you frequent Wapala Palm. Well, then the restaurant was actually only a block away then from that underpass we mentioned earlier to get back to the other side to the waterfront. We went over there, and then once we got to the waterfront was actually quite busy still. There were a lot of people from the ship. There was locals there. So then we made our way back to the shuttle. The shuttle took us to the ship, and we had to get some rest because we're going to now do day two in Mauritius. And so for this day, we had planned a snorkeling and street food adventure. So we had to get off pretty much right away in the morning. We got off about 9 in the morning, met our guide. He was there and prompt and on time. And we kind of realized that we probably had a little bit of a language barrier here.
We had a good language barrier here.
Yeah.
And I guess he was almost more of a driver than a guide,
Right.
honestly, that we weren't really sure what was happening next.
Yeah. So he told us he's going to take us to the market, and we simply told him, we said, well, we walked to the market yesterday, so we don't think we need to see the market again. And he goes, oh, okay, well, I'll take you to the beach. And it's like, okay, well, we knew we were going to the beach to go snorkeling, so he took us to the beach. That was fine. Then he said, okay, all your food will come here. And it's like, okay, well, what
does that mean?
Yeah. So then another guy in a car showed up, and he had like some food in bags, and he had like some falafel balls and a couple things, and we're thinking
burrito type.
Yeah, like
breakfast burrito, but it wasn't like what you would think of the
almost an egg
burrito.
roll kind of thing. Yeah, and it was just kind of interesting. We thought, oh, well, by saying we didn't want to go to the market, did he take that we didn't want to do the street food piece? And I don't know.
It was just all
Vic, you know what? You roll with it.
That's right. That's
so,
what you have
so you
to
know what
do.
we did? He said, well, this is where you're going to leave from the snorkeling. We had our swimsuits on. We're like, great. We got in the water and just went swimming.
Yeah,
and
we
we
did.
just enjoyed the beach, enjoyed Mauritius and the water, and relaxed and just
Talked
swam.
with some of the locals who
Yeah.
spoke English,
Yeah.
so that was good.
Yeah, enjoyed our time there in the ocean, and then they waved us over and said, "Oh, it's time to go snorkeling." So we came out. And the boat was right there at the beach, and we crawled up on the boat, got in, and it was 2 minutes to the spot.
We could have swam there.
Yeah, it was right there in that same cove, you
Yes.
know. And so they stopped the boat. We got in. They did not want us using fins, mainly because there's a lot of people. There's about 3 boats and a lot of people in that area. And I really understood why they didn't want us using fins once we got into the gym. Once we got in the water, because most of the other people were not experienced snorkelers. They were kind of kicking and flailing, and I can see where if you'd have put fins on them, they would have probably hurt somebody or hurt a turtle with the fins. But that said, they dropped some food in, some fish into the water, and the turtles came right in.
They did. Turtles and a lot of marine life, and that was fun. It was so beautiful to see the turtles swimming. There was even a young turtle that was swimming around, and some beautiful spotted moray eels were there, and that was incredible. I had never seen that.
Yeah, now
in
they
the
look like a
past.
sea snake, but we even double checked. We asked the boat operator, and we double checked ourselves on the internet, and they are a black and white spotted moray eel that was just fascinating. There was one point there was 3 or 4 of them all entangled on the ground, and yeah, that was beautiful to see. So yeah, we swam around, we
urchins.
snorkeled,
Yeah.
saw lots of fish. But we made it back on the boat. They took us back to shore, and then our guide then brought some more food over to us.
Right, we showered and changed first. They had little shower rooms there on the beach, so we were able to get dry clothes on. But yes, then our guide or driver brought us plates full of fried noodles and fried eggs. So we had that for lunch.
And it was from the local place on the beach. There was a little vendor there that had a little kitchen set up, and that's so that we had some of that for lunch. And then he brought a bag of sweets. But by now we're kind of full, and honestly the weather is starting to change maybe a little bit, especially on the beach. So we're watching it, and we said no, we'll just keep these. He said okay, keep them for later, and we all got back in the van, and he had one more stop he wanted to take us to.
Well, he took us to the fort, but the fort was closed.
Yeah, because what we didn't mention is today's Pentecost,
Yes.
which is a Catholic holiday, and so this is a French island, and so they celebrate those holidays. So most everything was closed. That's also why the beach was so busy, because all the families were out on the beach. But yeah, I thought it was funny. The fort was closed.
So we hiked around the backside of the fort
Through the bushes, following our guide.
top, where we had a beautiful overlook of the city, but it was just kind of a odd way to get around.
Yeah, to get to the same kind of platform we would have got to if we'd have gone to the fort, but now we're standing in the bushes outside the fort. But we got the beautiful view. We could
That's
see the
right.
city. We could see all around.
That's right.
And so after that, we made our way back through the bushes into the van, and then we headed back to the ship.
We
So,
did.
But it was I would say that through this whole adventure, it's fine, those gems and the things that happen. The snorkeling with the turtles was excellent. That was really fun.
It was a real highlight.
I enjoyed doing that with you. We were in that water for well over an hour swimming with the turtles, and yeah, I enjoyed that.
We were ready to go to Reunion the next day.
That's right. So our next stop is Reunion Island after our 2 nights here on Mauritius, and we're really looking forward to this. We have a private guide scheduled, and Reunion Island is known to be very beautiful, and you're going to see some incredible waterfalls and just beautiful scenery and wonderful mountain town in the caldera of a volcano.
So thanks for watching, friends. Be sure to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. And before we say goodbye, Mike, would you go to Mauritius again?
Probably not. We have to think about it in terms, I think, of where Mauritius is. I mean, for us to go to Mauritius, it's a long haul.
Right.
Long haul. Again, we've said this about several places we've gone to. asking if we'd go back is a connotation of would we take the trip to come back? And, you're talking about a 30-hour trip for us to get to Mauritius.
Well, let's just put it this way. Let's say we could get back to Mauritius. Would you want to come back?
If you're in the neighborhood, yeah, sure. It was a great island. I enjoyed it. I think Mauritius is a growing island. They're adding stuff to make it even more enticing and more beautiful. I think that there's things that you could do there. There's things we didn't get to see there. I think that it would be a very nice island. I think if your cruise ship is stopping in Mauritius, absolutely, it's a wonderful stop. So if we're in the neighborhood of Eastern Africa,
you would want to come back.
Then I would come back to Mauritius.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not to take a 30-hour flight from Michigan,
right?
To get specifically to Mauritius.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Beautiful island. So that's what you're saying too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. So, friends, thank you for liking, subscribing, turning on the notifications, and we will be seeing you very soon. Have a beautiful day.
Bye-bye
Take
now.
care. Bye-bye.